Imagine if you were able to watch your great-grandparents tell stories from their lives. What made them laugh? What moved them? How they responded to adversity and triumph? And what impacted their existence? That would be a treasure. Now you can offer that gift to your loved ones. Hello, I'm Dennis Tardon. For more than 45 years, I've been a professional interviewer documenting the lives and times of hundreds of people. I will guide you or your family member through the important stories of your lives using my unique interviewing skills. I'm now offering my legacy interviews worldwide via Zoom from the comfort of you or your loved one's own home. All you need is a webcam, and I will do the rest. Contact me today to schedule your legacy interview.
Did you know that thousands of Californians have retired in luxury on the beach in San Felipe, Baja California? Did you know that the future of green technology is happening now on the beach in Baja California? That you can own a beautiful sea view home for a fraction of what it would cost in the U.S.? Did you know that the cost of living is 1/4 the cost of what it is here? Discover Rancho Costa Verde, an amazing cutting-edge green community on the beach at prices you haven't seen in your lifetime. Not a lease, not a timeshare, full ownership home sites with 180-degree sea views starting at only $22,500, with terms and financing that make it affordable for almost anyone. To receive additional information and learn how you can visit the property, call 1-800-211-7400. 1-800-211-7400.
Hello, welcome to No Icing. I'm so excited for my guests today, this evening, wherever you're watching from. I'm very excited, live and direct from Los Angeles. Let me bring up my executive producer, Renee Jaworski, and she's my co-host tonight, so it's my lucky night. Hold on. Let me bring her up.
It's my lucky night. Are you serious? What the fuck? Just doing Uncle Nino. I'm sorry. I always tell. Yeah, I'm so glad you let me be here today because you're going to introduce me to someone who might change my life even. You never know.
Yes. And I'm not sure, like I was trying to word it in the description and I just was like, you know what? I hope I'm wording things properly, but because I'm not the professional, but let me bring up our guest to me. I don't want to word things incorrectly. So
okay. The world is watching.
Okay, here we go. Drum roll, Renee.
Bucket of fish, bucket of Tom, Cheshire.
Yay!
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, this is exciting. It's so many great people all on the same screen.
I was excited. I think this is going to be awesome.
I know. I have high hopes. So, Brandon, no pressure, but I'm depending on you to change my life today.
Easy.
All right. I like that confidence. I love that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate being on your show. What questions do you have? Like, I mean, I go into the history. Where should we start?
Brandon,
Well,
why
I
don't you
was
tell
thinking,
them how you got like into this? How you know me? We should start with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Like how you're in the community, like our community.
Yes. So, yeah, 2020, right? SDF got introduced to you and Jake through, Social Distance Fest with my band Westerner, and we performed on there a bunch. We got really into hanging out, playing some music, and set up the green screen and did the effects, did the whole thing. And then, we stayed in touch. I got to actually visit you on my cross country trip in 2021 when I drove from California to Maryland, and I got to stay with you and Jake, which is great. So that's how we know each other. And then, I got into hypnotherapy in the last few years. And so you're like, hey, you do this. Can you help me quit vaping? Boom. Yes. And then that's when I got introduced to Sandy. And Sandy, from what I know, she's just about a month. Can I say this out loud, Sandy? Am I allowed to say this?
yeah.
30 days or so, a month as a non-smoker.
Yay, Sandy!
That's awesome.
So, and then now we're here.
I want to say something about Westerner first, because
Right.
Westerner to me was one of the rare bands that I instantly was shocked by and awed by. And I think that's a huge compliment, because I've noticed that there's so much entertainment available these days that honestly, it's almost like a barrage. And sometimes I get overwhelmed, and I feel like I'm probably letting a lot of really talented artists just fly by me because the culture is so immersed in talent. And so Westerner sticks out to me because that's one of the rare times when just boom, I just had to stop scrolling. What is this? It's not what you see every day. And I mean, I think Bethy and Sandy, I don't know if you've seen Westerner before, but obviously, like, if you guys can weigh in on that, just like, and then I want to get to the hypnotherapy because like I'm obsessed with that. But you to me are a rock star. You know what I mean? Like you're one of those, like a throwback to like an actual rock star where you're doing like crazy cool stuff. I mean, I don't want to start listing bands because I hate comparing bands, but like it's that feel. It's that feel that where there could be like a documentary about you guys, and I would totally want to watch that. And I mean, so I don't know if you can say something about Westerner first, just because you guys are kind of a mystery to me.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, Westerner, I joined them 2017. So I've been with them for a few years now. The band really started in 2013. So it's actually 10 years of the band being a band, with Cooper, who's the tall guy who barely fit in the screen. Yeah, he started the band 2013. He had a whole album called Unreal City. It's available still on Bandcamp.
Okay.
And it's basically music set to a graphic novel. Now, the graphic novel is technically being produced right now. There's going to be an animated music video for every one of those songs.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's
it's great. We're going to do like a whole like mini like theater tour, like once we have this full animated album. So that's in the works. Sorry, Cooper, if you
Very
want.
cool.
Don't give away all our master plans, but that's what's in the works.
Okay.
And then obviously we write music still and perform, and we haven't gone too far east yet, but we've kind of jumped all around the West Coast, Arizona, Vegas. Recently, we're just getting out there more.
But you guys are visually entertaining as well as the musical experience. So you guys put on a show. You're very entertaining. You're good performers. There's a lot of visual engagement. And what's that about? Like, whose idea was that? Because a lot of bands just go up there and just stand and they're, and it's just about the auditory experience. You guys are like bigger than life, kind of. I don't know. Or interesting to watch, I will say. I think you're interesting to watch.
I think like the music kind of calls for it. Like, I don't know how you can play rock music, dance music, and not move. So,
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like psychedelic rock.
Yes, thank you.
You have like the visuals and stuff. It's so I remember being just like, holy crap, like this band could blow up and it wouldn't surprise me. It's like this thing that you would be like, I expect them to like all be famous one day.
In like 3 months. Like I honestly felt I would never see you again. I felt like that was it. And I was shocked when I saw like 2 or 3 times. I was like, I felt like what Bethy's saying. It's like you feel like you're seeing an actual rock band immediately right before they catch fire and become an A-list experience.
Yeah.
Oh, appreciate it.
He's like, yeah, I know. Like, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have to leave early because we have another show that I have to prep for. So I'm not trying to be rude, but I do want to go first about the hypnotherapy because I actually have a real problem. I've even tried 12-step. I've tried all this stuff and it sounds silly, but my thing is I have particular trigger foods like cookies and brownies. And it sounds really silly, but I also have an autoimmune disease. So when I eat those things, it gives me extreme pain, inflammation, like that crippling me. It becomes a serious problem. So I need to learn how to not eat, because I don't know how to eat a cookie. If I eat a cookie, I'm going to eat the bag of cookies before I stand up. I can't do middle of the road. Can you help me? Because I'm 42 years old and I literally have not figured this out yet.
Yeah, great question. So let me just clarify. You don't want to eat any cookies. Like even
I don't think I can. I don't think I could eat 1 or 2. I mean, unless you can train me to eat 1 cookie, but I've never been able to do that.
No. Okay. Great question. And that is actually super, super simple. I don't know.
I don't know. If it is, then I will literally pay you anything that I have. No one has solved this, Brandon.
You're cute, Renee. I love this.
So, okay, this isn't hypnosis. This isn't like, for what you're describing, I don't believe it takes like a deep trance and, having an hour-long session. I don't. There's something that goes along with hypnosis. It's called NLP. Neuro-linguistic programming. Okay. Make her believe cookies will have spiders.
I'm arachnophobic. That's why if I believe that, I would never touch a cookie ever. If that would work, David.
You can do that, but here's the thing. Then you're going to be at a family function and they have cookies, and then you're going to start seeing spiders, and that would be horrible. So let's not do that.
No psychotic breaks, Brandon. I don't want any psychotic breaks.
But, there's a better way to do it, in my opinion. Okay. So NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. What does that mean? It's the language behind how we see the world. Okay. So there's a part of you in Renee that loves cookies. And there's a part of you that hates it because of what it does to your body, right? So we have a technique in not hypnosis, but NLP called parts integration, where we take that one part of you that hates cookies, that really shouldn't eat them, and the part that loves them. And what we do is we bring them together and make the two parts whole.
Oh my gosh. That would be totally awesome if you could do that. I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah, of course we can do it. I mean, I would do it right now, but I don't know how much time we have.
I might not have enough because I have to leave around in about 20 minutes or less. And also we have other guests on, but if I can connect with you after, if we could arrange something, because I want to have results like Bethy and Sandy have had. Like that's what I want. For me, it's just as hard to quit cookies as it is what they're.
You're so cute, Renee. I love
it. Look away.
Renee's addicted.
You're just adorable.
Here's what I'll
Cookies.
say. The unconscious mind, the other part of our mind that we're not using right now, it runs our body. It runs all the memories. It has all those stored. It doesn't know the difference between real and imagined, which is actually a great thing. So if we can imagine something happening in our mind, unconscious, subconscious, however you want to call it, is going to work to make it happen. And since the prime directive of the unconscious mind is to run our body, then once it sees that cookies and you are not a thing, it's just going to make that happen. You're going to be a non-cookie eater, not an ex-cookie eater.
Oh my gosh. So I'll even judge myself from the past. I'll be like, that's so weird that I wanted to eat all those cookies.
Yeah.
Is that what it's like, sort of?
It could be. I mean, we could do like a full like coaching session, and there could be even more things under the cookies. We don't know.
Gosh. All right. Okay. I'm excited. I mean, Sandy raved about you. I know Bethy has had a great, I don't know if they want to talk about their experiences maybe from on the other side of it, because like what the experience was, and that was hypnosis, right? So like, how do you, I have so many questions. Like, I know they're going to ask you questions too, but like how you get involved in something like that. How are you hypnotizing somebody to do or not do one thing, but you're leaving the rest of them intact? Like, could you ask a bank robber to just hand over money? I mean, like, what are your powers? Where are the limitations? I gotta know. I have too many questions.
Great question. I can tell you right now, these are all great questions. And a lot of these questions probably come because you've seen hypnosis in like a stage show. You've seen somebody, okay, now quack like a duck. Or like, okay, now, every time I say the word banana, you're going to start cracking up, right? These are stage shows, or you see this in, Hollywood movies. So common. Okay. Little aside, there's a movie out right now on Netflix called Hypnotic. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but I watched it a couple months ago. It came out recently, and it actually made me kind of angry because it's like 80% accurate of what happens, and then the other 20 is just super like they fill it with a lot of fear. Like, this guy can control your mind, can control your thoughts. Like, it is not mind control at all. Okay. And I think it's important that I say that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Okay. I am merely helping you go into a relaxed state. That's step one. You get into a relaxed state. And then number two, I give you suggestions. Mm-hmm. And those suggestions are accepted by your unconscious mind. And because the unconscious mind runs the body, it'll get to work to doing the work, right? You don't even have to think about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you to go rob a bank or go steal somebody or, go hurt somebody, because we all have this part of our mind. It's called a critical faculty. Okay. And what that is, it's almost like a firewall. Like if you have a computer, it's like a firewall. It will immediately launch and it will stop, right? If you were in a relaxed state and I said, okay, Renee, when you wake up, you're going to go rob a bank, you would wake up immediately.
Okay.
That goes against your morals and your values.
Right.
So nobody can hypnotize you to do something you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. This is why when we did the session with Bethy and Sandy, the first question I asked them was, do you want to quit? And if it's not a yes, 10 out of 10, I'm not going to do hypnosis with you, because it doesn't matter what I say. I could be the best freaking hypnotist in the world, but it doesn't matter. If you don't want to do something, you're not going to do it.
Right.
Hypnosis isn't going to fix it. So yeah, if you want to quit smoking, you want to quit eating cookies, if you really, truly want to do that, yes, you can.
All right.
I can help you.
How did you get trained to do this?
Great question. So I've been interested in hypnosis for years. And I used to listen to some tapes at night, and it would help me. I'd wake up feeling refreshed. For a while, I had a hard time like staying asleep and just being rested. I'd only sleep like 3 or 4 hours. It was weird. So I started using it for that. It helped a ton. And then I thought, you know what if I tried like abundance or like attracting money, right? And then I started putting these hypnosis tapes on at night. And the wildest, can I swear on here?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. The wildest shit started happening. Okay. I would like find $20 on the ground, and then somebody would like give us a paying gig that paid a lot of money. Like just money would just start coming to me. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be something about this hypnosis stuff. Right. And then I had a couple hypnotist mentors. And then I found Neuromasters Academy, which is where I got officially trained. They do, 3 and 4 day rapid hypnotherapy certifications. I mean, anybody can technically be certified in hypnosis.
Okay. I didn't know that. So you don't need to have a PhD degree or anything like that. Okay.
If you were gonna like work in like the hospital, they have some weird red tape where like you kind of have to have like a degree in like psychology or something. But yeah, I'm a musician. I went to school for music. I did not do that, but yeah.
But that's how you get the training though, and then that gives you the tools where you go and you're very confident, and then people can be very confident that you're a trained professional and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
That's how do you do business? Do you do people on Zoom? David was saying in the audience, he wanted us to ask you about doing Zoom sessions and how hypnotherapy can work over Zoom. But I'm assuming you do it over Zoom, but then do you get a lot of clients? Is this something that people want, or are people terrified? Because like me, I was kind of on the fence until Sandy was like, no, really, like this works. I would have been scared initially.
Yeah. I'll tell you, even when I first started doing it with like, for real, like, I was a little scared too, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I think it's twofold. I think when you know somebody who's done it, you're easier to open up. And, it's just, I'm glad we're doing a show like this because it's my opportunity to kind of debunk some of the myths. Like, it's not mind control. It's not some weirdo holding a clock saying you're getting very sleepy. Like, it's not that at all. It's like, I compare it to like meditation, right? But it's guided. I'm guiding you through a relaxation. And then once you're in that relaxed state, you're open to suggestions, and we can do whatever we want. Quit drinking, quit smoking, quit vaping, changing bad habits. I don't know, even like nail biting or pulling hair, like little things. Maybe you don't have a lot of confidence, or you want to perform better in X, Y, and Z area. All of this happens. Musicians, athletes. I've worked with a lot of different kind of people.
And do you need to do a re-up? Like, do Bethy and Sandy need to come back for a follow-up, or is this indefinite? No? Wow.
That's the beautiful part. So here, this important to know. If we have any people in the audience who is a smoker and they want to quit, or vapor, it works the same way. Technically drinking too. We have to change your identity. It's a longer session. It's like 2 to 3 hours long.
Wow.
And the reason is we are literally changing your identity. You are not an ex-smoker. You are a non-smoker. It's a very subtle difference. If you're an ex-smoker, you know what it's like. You can go back to it. If you're a non-smoker, you don't even know. It's not an option. Think about somebody in your life who's never smoked a cigarette. They don't have to think about, oh, should I go out for a smoke after dinner or before? Oh, I'm at the airport. Should I smoke now, run through the terminal, and then grab another one before I get on the plane? Like, they don't have these thoughts, right? They just don't. And that is what we do. You're now a non-smoker. That's your new identity. That's
I like the way Bethy, excuse me, the way Bethy explained it to me. I think it holds true. She said initially that, like, it just takes it takes like all the stress that you would have, like trying to do it on your own. It takes it away, that it's like not even a factor. Like, it made it like you don't feel like you're stressed every day thinking about it, or like it just takes away that initial frustration when you're trying to quit something that most people are going to go through different processes. But like Bethy explained it, like it wasn't even there. Like, it was like, nope, I just stopped smoking. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, it was a non-issue.
I also described it as, like, to me, it was like a reprogramming of like my unconscious, like, immediate thoughts that I would have. So like, I quit smoking many times, and with addiction, when you start to have those cravings, like, it's the fixating, like you fixate and you just mull over it, and it just won't stop. Your brain just keeps going, and you just sit there and go, oh God, I want a cigarette, or I want a vape, or whatever that addiction is, you can't stop thinking about it. And I felt like this is what he did. With the hypnosis, it reprogrammed like the immediate thoughts that I would have when the cravings would first step in. After my 3 days were up and the nicotine was out of my body, really, like, especially after the week, I was really fine. But those first few days, I did have like little spurts because you are having withdrawals. That's still happening. But it gave me tools to like very quickly distract myself or substitute and replace those actions with something else, like water, or like my body found very quickly substitutions, like I was putting on chapstick instead, like little things, but it would like very quickly distract me, and then I was fine. I was absolutely fine. I was so scared to quit because I knew I was going to be a nightmare to my family with the withdrawals, you know, like Jake's gonna want to divorce me. My kids are going to be miserable. I'm going to be like the worst person on the planet. And that did not happen. It was so incredibly easy for me. And I was immediately just like, this is so awesome. Like, I feel so good. I felt so empowered. And I do think that Brandon slipped some little extra nuggets in there for me of just like empowerment and like kind of motivation to just like get my shit together. Either that, or it was just like the quitting of I'm not sure. Brandon can probably say. He's like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I felt really good. And generally when I do like do something like this that is empowering, it kind of starts like a little bit of a snowball for me, where I feel like, okay, I can do this other thing that I've been putting off. And I can do this other thing that I've been putting off and need to do, you know? Okay, now I'm going to start drinking more water. Okay, now I'm going to like get my bills in order, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first couple of days I was cleaning like nonstop, cleaning my house. I couldn't sit. I mean, it was a little anxious still, but yeah, but like I got through it, you know, like I did it.
You did it.
So what was the experience like in the session? Like, did you guys come in, Bethy and Sandy, like kind of trepidatious? Did you come in doubtful? Like, what was your mood? And then like what actually kind of happened during those hours?
Well, I think for me, I can't speak for Sandy, but for me, I had a little bit of a different experience than I think that just like a client that doesn't know Brandon would have, because we have like a good rapport. Like, we're friends, we've hung out, I trust him and know him. And so I knew that he like has my best interest at heart, and he's not, you know what I mean? He doesn't have any bad motivations. He's looking out for me, and I trust that he's gonna, you know, take care of me and do what's best for me. And so that none of that existed. And obviously like, he talks to you for like 30, 45 minutes. I guess depending on the person, I don't know how long that session runs. And like gets all of the details of all of your habits, you know, when you do it, all of this details. He's like getting all of this information because he's going to plug this stuff into your hypnosis to make it more personal for you, so that it clicks with you and your habits and all of the things. And he really wants to know that you really want to do it. So he's going to dig for that as well. And then I would say that the actual hypnosis, I think our session was like 90 minutes long. It felt so much shorter. I actually thought I was falling asleep at the end. And it's so funny, you know, because you watch on TV when they like pull people out of hypnosis and they start the countdown. So I think I felt like I had started to kind of doze. And then all of a sudden I hear 4, 3. And my brain was like, okay, we're done. Like, that actually really was like, oh, you better wake up, bitch. Time to wake up. You don't want Brandon to know you fell asleep on his hypnosis.
Do people fall asleep, Brandon, or they don't fall asleep? What's the expectation? Like, what's the
Generally, they don't. I mean,
I don't think I was fully asleep. I do have to say that Brandon did advise me not to lay in my bed, and I did anyways.
It's weird. Like,
that's hilarious.
going to sleep isn't the worst thing, but it's not the best because, like, your unconscious is always listening, even when you're sleeping. But this is it's an active thing. Like, you have to be awake. You're hearing my words. But I think Bethy experienced a bit of a deeper level of trance than I would say Sandy might have, because Bethy, like, you know, I don't know if Sandy actually almost fell asleep, but I remember that, like, you know, Bethy came up and, like, you know, opened her eyes and was like, oh my God, I felt like that was 15 minutes.
Wow.
And that's a sign of very deep trance where you kind of lose time. That's a great thing. That actually says a lot about Bethy's ability to let go and be suggestible. And dare I say, and I'm not a medical doctor here, so, you know, don't quote me on this, but dare I say, the ability to heal herself. We have people who have done hypnosis and things like that who have developed cancer. And I'm, again, not diagnosing anything, but let me tell you, we've had a lot of people who have cured their cancer with hypnosis. Wow. They weren't able to have children, like they were infertile. We did some hypnosis or some timeline therapy, and now they're having kids. So one thing to really know is that, like, it's all possible, because we're only limited by ourselves. And anyway,
someone in the audience just said that it's true that she or he has done self-hypnosis for MS. So that's I don't know who it is, but I did have one more question, which was, you were mentioning money earlier.
That's Bridget.
And Bridget, hi Jet. But so you can do positive things, not just negative things. It's not just about saying, I don't want to do this act anymore. You can actually attract things. Is that like law of attraction, or is that the mind-body connection? How are you doing things that are active instead of passive? Like you're talking about someone curing cancer, which sounds like more of an active thing, like you're healing, you're moving forward. Is that true? Like, how can that work? Or could you make a relationship better? That type of stuff.
Great question. Great question. I would kind of categorize, everybody has a thing that falls in one of three categories. It's either their health, their wealth, or their relationships. Everybody's thing falls in one of those. Okay. Now, one thing to really know is, you said, so you can do negative things and you can do positive things. I think the important thing to note is that everything is going towards the positive. One thing you really need to know is the unconscious mind doesn't understand negatives. So anybody who's on here watching, if you're doing affirmations, if you're doing this self-hypnosis, whatever you're doing to work on yourself, be very, very mindful of the words you use. For example, if you want to lose weight, you don't want to say, I don't want to be fat anymore. Because your unconscious mind doesn't understand don't or not.
Right. Yeah.
So essentially you're saying, I want to be fat.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So remove that, reword it. I am in my ideal weight, or I'm in my ideal body. You can even add a couple of, exciters. I'm so happy and grateful and excited to be at my ideal weight. And do it in the current moment. Do it in the present moment. When we do hypnosis, I don't say, you will wake up and be you will be 50 pounds lighter. No, like, we don't do that. That's not a thing. It's in the present moment. You are a non-smoker. You are a non-vapor. You are at your ideal weight. Because when, I say it again, when your mind can picture it, can imagine it, it must come true.
Okay. I love that. Yeah, because I know, like, if you say don't think of a pink elephant, you just thought of a pink elephant. So you can't say in the negative. I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Yep. That's right.
Hi, Brittany.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I trust Bethy. So when she told me about Brandon, I was excited. And then I was like, "Oh, I want to have him on his band on and talk about his music."
I
on my
thought you were
show,
going
but
to
that
say
would
you
be
want to have his baby. I thought you were going
a whole
to
different episode.
I'm so sorry.
But no, I trust Bethy, so I felt comfortable with him right away. Like anytime any friend of Bethy's that she tells me is a friend that she trusts, I'm gonna jump on that bus with her because of course.
Yes.
So I was happy I was happy for the referral. So thank you. It's a life changer. It's a game changer. And like you guys were saying, he tailors each session, I think, to the individual. Like that's why he asks a lot of questions in the beginning, and each session is catered to what that person is struggling with. And I have questions too, but yeah, I love how it's catered. Like you probably asked Beth answered the questions differently than I did because Bethy might have different struggles than I do. Like her kids might be different ages than mine, but like maybe she's dealing with teenagers and I'm dealing with little ones, and like these little things throughout the day are triggers that make you want to go do that bad habit, go grab that cookie, whatever it may be. And like I feel like the questions that you ask in the beginning are very critical because that's the keys to rewiring Bethy's brain, rewiring my brain, rewiring Renee's brain. Like each person struggles in a different way in their own way. Right? Am I right?
Yeah. And there's nothing more powerful than using somebody's own words. So when they tell you, I get stressed out at work and I have to go outside and have a smoke break every 30 minutes. We're going to tailor that into your suggestions and say, when you're at work and you might feel stressed, the thought of having a cigarette actually might gross you out. Instead, you're going to stand up and do a stretch and have a glass of water, for example. So it's very powerful, right? Yeah.
You okay, Sandy?
Oh yeah, no, I'm still working on the techniques that he gave me. So I still have to use it. But
breathing your fresh air. I only breathe fresh air.
Right.
And it's like it is a good feeling. Like now I smell things better. I feel recharged when I get that deep breath in. I feel like we forget to breathe. We're so busy worrying about all the things every day. People, we need to just breathe. Get back to the basics.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Something else that Brandon offers in this service is that he checks on you.
Oh, wow.
So it's like you have kind of this built-in what I can't think of the word, but somebody, my brain has gone completely blank. But he like messages you and checks on you and asks how you're doing, and that motivation is also so helpful. Like just an added additional tool is like
sees you through it. He doesn't just leave you and forget about you. He sees you through it.
Okay.
He checks on you.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if I'm wording it good.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe that you, especially with smoking, it's one and done, cookies, one and done. We don't need multiple sessions. Yes. Right. So that's what I think. And it's actually funny because I don't know if these people are joking or if they're like, they actually think this, but they said, oh, you're in trance. And I said something to like suggest something. Again, I'll just say it again. I can't suggest anything that you don't want yourself. So when you quit smoking, when you quit drinking, that's a decision you have to make first. What I help you with is everything after. Because yes, you're going to feel great after the session. You're probably going to have the best sleep of your freaking life after our hypnosis session. But then what happens day 1, day 2 without, day 3? that is where the real support comes in. And that's where the power of hypnosis kicks in, because it's not in that moment. It's every day after that where you have to go back and integrate into your life. All the little triggers that come up that make you want a cookie or have a cigarette or have a drink. The triggers can't go away, like these things might still trigger you. But instead of triggering you for a bad habit, we switch it for a good one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Switch it, yeah.
And what are some other ideas? So
cool.
we did vaping. So vaping, the smoking, like I'm going to do the cookie thing. Can you give us some examples of like stuff that this works with?
Anything. I mean, literally anything. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to get to your ideal body, if you're trying to, and then you mentioned something about attraction earlier. I mean, I think, let's say you're having some troubles with your relationships, or maybe you're trying to attract a better partner, or, maybe you have negative feelings like sadness, anger, fear. If you have these real things like phobias, like real things like afraid of spiders or afraid of flying or afraid of all of these things, like literally anything that you want to change, you can. And I think this is a caveat, right? Because some people will come in and say to me, well, you can't change that. That can't be changed. And then I ask, why not? When did you decide that you can't change? Because this is all a decision.
So your mind is controlling your perception of reality, which is changing your actual reality. Is that?
100%.
I believe that. I've been seeing that more and more in my life, and me just being open and willing to receive good things or to focus. I've noticed that when I focus on something, it tends to materialize. So it's all part of that. So I'm familiar with all of that. I just never had put the term like hypnotherapy on that or positive mental attitude. I never put that all together, but it's all related,
Let's put it this way. We're being hypnotized all the time. And we don't even know it. We're being influenced and suggested all the time. Why not take power back into your hands and hypnotize yourself for stuff that you actually want?
That makes sense to me.
I talk to so many people who are like, I talked to somebody earlier today and he goes, oh, well, this situation with Russia and Ukraine and blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I don't. Because I don't watch the news.
Right. You're not constantly being bombarded by all of the negativity and stuff.
Yes, they're watching the news. That's hypnosis. People get lost. They think they're in the screen. So anyway, sorry if I'm raising my voice.
It's what you put in. It's what you put in that determines like what you get out, right? So if you're putting a lot of like, for me, I'm like loading myself with sugar, but if I choose to eat healthier foods, or if I think about only negative things, I will see only negative things, right? Is that? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Your perception is your projection as well. There's that phrase where somebody's angry to you, you got to tell yourself that's a reflection of them, not me. And that's so true, because if somebody's angry at you, it doesn't unless you actually like hurt them or did something, they have no reason to actually be angry with you, right? Like imagine yourself driving and then somebody beeps at you. Okay, maybe you cut them off. That's a legit reason. Maybe they were afraid, but maybe you were just going too slow for them in their lane. And so they beep, they get angry, they speed around you. That's a reflection of them. They have a lot of anger in them, not you. So your perception is like how you perceive things is actually how you act out in the world. We're getting a little deep here, but that's one of the core principles here. Is like you act what you see on the outside is exactly what's happening on the inside.
Wow. That just blew my mind. That's incredible. That's awesome. We have a show on Cosmos called Burn It Down, hosted by Tom Cheshire, and he's been doing these positive parties with positive mental attitude and talking about the value. I mean, I don't think he knows about hypnosis. I'm not really sure, but he always talks about how, what you're visualizing actually can come true, but you have to stay in that positive place. You can't let yourself just be focusing on all the negative. So I don't know. I've learned that, and I've learned that too. But like I said, I didn't know that it was this. But anyways, I have to go to another show, but I will be contacting you, Brandon. Please, Sandy or Bethy, link us together. And that'll be the end of Me and Cookies. That'll be it. I'm very positive about it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sandy. Bye.
Bye, Renee.
Love you.
We didn't talk about Val at all. I did want to just slip that in there just a tiny bit.
You know,
we can talk about it at the end if you want.
Yeah, I'll just say, you know, Val is just like a more personal thing. I wrote a little EDM album and it was fun. I had the thought of like, you know, doing clubs and doing all these things. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I stopped pursuing it. And I was like, you know, I had to decide. I was like, that's not really what I want. It is
fun though. You have a whole album.
Yeah.
That is out there, right? People can listen to it.
Yeah. It absolutely is. And it's called The Women in My Life. And that was written over a series of like 3 years or so. I put it out 2021. Yeah, it's out there for sure. I actually kind of forget about it sometimes just because, you know, I love to write music. I think
it was like a challenge for you to like do it and produce it, and you got it done. And then it was kind of like, okay, like you kind of moved on after that.
Yeah. And actually that's right around where I started doing like a bit of motivation hypnosis, where I would say, I'm going to get this done. You know, I'm going to do this. And, you know, I didn't run a marathon, but I released an album. So it was very tailored to what I wanted. So yeah, no, it's so funny though that you bring it up, because I literally, I forget sometimes that I put it out. Like I just.
Well, of course I remember we did like a big album release party.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, 2020, 2021, like it feels like a lifetime ago. It's like
it
weird.
Really does. I completely agree.
Was that when? Wait, did you go to were you at Jake and Bethy's green room, like at the old place? And you, I guess, I think I remember that. Wow.
He did. We all played together.
We had a jam.
And you went live.
We did.
Right? I think I remember.
I actually watched it kind of recently. I went back and watched it and was.
Oh wow!
It was a lot of fun. I'll repost it. I'll repost it when we get done, so everybody can watch it.
Yeah, they're amazing cooks, y'all. Like jackfruit tacos, and like the most amazing way to eat like corn on the cob. I'm like, what is this witchcraft? It's amazing.
It's like just Mexican corn. That's what we call it. Mexican street corn.
That was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Sandy, how was your hypnosis session?
It was good. You know, in the beginning, I was like, he was asking the questions, and I was like, really, really wanting to smoke during that question time. But I was like, no, I gotta stay firm with, you know, this is what I want, because he'll ask you, is this what you want? You know, or somebody making you do this? Or is someone pushing you to do this? Or is this what you want? And you have to really want to, like, or else it won't work. So I was like,
yeah,
no,
I told her that.
I want.
Like, he's going to ask you if you want to.
You have to want to.
If you don't convince him that you really want to, he won't do it.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I really want to. But man, that during that time of the questions, I was fiending. And then I was like, no, I just got to do this. And then I ended up going to bed that night. Like you said, sometimes you just want to go to sleep after that. I went to sleep. I had nothing. I didn't touch it. You know, that was it. And like after the session, that, you know, I was fine. Like I was okay. Like I never had to go smoke. Like I was okay. So, but like during the question time, I was like fiending. I was like, oh, like this is hard. This is hard. And then after the session, it was like, okay. And then I had all the techniques and everything was already built in there. So it's pretty wild.
I did
I think I had a little bit of a headache, right? I think I had.
Yeah, you did. You actually had a physical reaction, like your brain was actually changing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Did that happen to you, Bethy?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I actually didn't have any headaches at all. I don't really have a lot of, I've never had much of physical withdrawals from nicotine. It's always, well, I mean, I guess it is a physical withdrawal, but it presents itself in like a mental kind of way. At least that's the way it feels to me. Like, it's just like I could not shake. It's just like the thought over and over again, like you want to, you want to vape, like you need, like that will not stop. I don't really have headaches or like shakes or anything like that.
It's really like someone took the handcuffs off of us. It's like we were handcuffed to an addiction, and now those handcuffs are gone, and we're free again. Like we're finally free. I would also like
stash vapes everywhere. So as I was like finishing my vape, like it would start to like not kind of taste like it was towards the end, right? So I would buy a new one, but I wouldn't throw it away because it wasn't done yet. Like it was like emergency vapes, and I had them all over the place. Like they just had a little bit left in them, but if I ran out, I knew where they all were. They're just like all over the place. So I had to gather them all up and throw them away. I remember hitting the last hit right before I went, so I hit it, threw it in the trash. I actually tied up the trash and took it out to the road so I wouldn't be tempted to like go back and grab it. And then I want to say like a month later. So it's been almost 2 months for me. So that was July 1st. Like a month later, I was going through my old gym bag. Well, I haven't been to the gym since before the pandemic. I'm not proud of that. But like right before the pandemic was the last time at the gym. And I was going through the bag looking for something, because I still have my gym bag all ready to go, even though I haven't been to the gym in 3 years. But there was a vape in there. And I pulled it out, just threw it in the trash.
Yes.
I was like, I got this. But it really helped me too, because Brandon said, if you take one puff, your hypnosis is ruined. You have to start all over again. And that has like stuck with me so much. I actually encountered my first like temptations, because this has been much easier than it's ever been for me to quit before. When I was a smoker, all my friends smoked. And then as I was a vapor, I've always worked in restaurants. And so everyone around me was doing these things. Well, now I work in an office setting, and like no one I know vapes. So that's been really, really nice. I'm not around anyone that's doing it. But last weekend, I worked in my old restaurant. I had to work an event. And so
everybody was doing it.
And everyone was vaping. And I was just kind of like, I don't do that anymore. Yeah. I don't do that. And it was very easy. I don't do that because I don't do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that you bring this up, because we, at any point, we still have free will. You have the will. If you want, you can just go right back to it. But what we do goes so deep that then as soon as you think, oh, okay, I could do it, then you think of the thousands of reasons why you don't want to do it, and all these other reasons why, and that's amazing. I was in Vegas last weekend, actually, for a friend's wedding. Vegas is Smoke City, people. People can smoke and vape everywhere in Vegas. I'm walking
inside. Can you like in casinos?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And vaping all in the casinos, and I'm walking through, and I'm like, I'm at the point now where I actually feel bad for people. I don't want it at all. I just watch it. I'm like, I just feel so bad. I'm like, it should have been. I should have had business cards with me. Like, here you go.
Here you go.
Missed opportunity.
Well, is it okay? Am I allowed to say that you also struggled with an addiction, right? Am I allowed to say that? So,
yes. Yep.
So this helped. This helped you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So
now you want to definitely help other people.
100%. And my mom, she passed from stage 4 lung cancer, and, she smoked for years. And so, it's become very important for me. It's not all I do, but I do really feel connected to people who want to quit smoking and want to quit vaping. Some things to know as well is like vaping really was developed to be a nicotine replacement, but we have to remember this is an addiction. You have an addiction to the habit, to the nicotine. So patches or gum, it's actually just perpetuating the addiction. That's why only 3%, this is a statistic, I'm not making this up. Nicotine replacements have a 3% success rate of like actually quitting. Now,
right. Like there's patch, there's gum, there's
all the things, right?
Oils.
Oh yeah. Right. And
toothpick.
That means it's a 97% fail rate.
Wow.
I don't like those chances.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money. The patch costs a lot.
Yeah.
For a 97% fail rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and another thing I want to mention before we end the show, is that the thing is like you're saying with the success rates, there's like, I have friends that have been in and out of rehab facilities with doctors and nurses and a whole staff. And they've been in and out of the same rehab multiple times, in and out. They keep going back to that same addiction every time. And here you are with a staff of professional doctors and nurses. But really, when you go home, you're left back to your own thoughts. The brain is still, it's going right back to the way the brain is wired. So that's what I think is so amazing about what you do, because this is different than the stuff you buy over the counter. This is different than going to a rehab facilitation center. This is different than all those things. And even at a rehab place, if you want to check out, you can check out anytime. They can't keep you. They can't force you and lock you and keep you there. You have to want to be there. So same concept, but this works better because this is rewiring the brain so that you can go home and from that place that you're at and that rehab and you can sit with your own thoughts and not go back to that same addiction.
Yeah.
Which that to me is priceless, because think of all the time and money and things when you have to go to a rehab facility. You have to get someone to watch your pets, your house, all the things, your kids. It's not easy to go to a rehab facility. This is something we could do from home. You could do it in an appointment and a Zoom meeting. So definitely, I want anyone who's watching the show tonight, or high replay people, if you're watching, definitely message Brandon. How do you want people to contact you, on Facebook or what's the best ways?
You're welcome to contact me on Facebook Messenger. If we're not friends, it'll go to requests, so I don't check that all that often, but I can definitely make an effort, make sure, I did create a little form I sent to you, Sandy. I sent to your, I don't know if we can
I think I put it in the chat.
It's just a basic form. And it's just like name, number, and times that you can chat, just so I can reach out and kind of have a plan of attack. Yeah. Great comment. Wish I could afford hypnotherapy. My question to you would be, can you afford not to? Because some people's things, maybe you can afford to not fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
But maybe, I mean, it just depends, I think we get change from two areas. We're either divinely inspired to change, or we hit rock bottom. And I mean, Bethany and Sandy, I don't think you guys were like rock bottom, but there were some very emotional things in both of what you guys told me about why you wanted to quit. I mean, it was deep emotional pain. And I think that causes people to want to change, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when people truly want to change, they'll find a way to make it happen. I mean, if your mother got just the royal you, if your mother was in the hospital and you need to come up with $500 or $1,000 to save her life, you would find a freaking way to do it. You wouldn't say, well, I can't afford the treatment. What are you going to do? Leave her there? No. How come we don't take that approach with ourselves? Why don't we have that urgency with ourselves? So,
well, like, anyway. and also, what about like people that have thoughts of suicide or depression? Can you help them? Because we're actually in suicide awareness, prevention awareness month. So, like, can your services help people that are battling with these thoughts?
Yes. So
because that's something that can't put a price 100%. On that, right? That's someone's life we're talking about. So
no. And we talked a little bit about this, the two of you. There's an idea of a secondary gain, meaning like you have another reason to hold on to this. But if you have the desire to change, you can change. Anything around suicide specifically has to do with a lot of deep wounds, deep emotional pain. I don't know if that's from childhood or throughout your life. And guys, I'm going to say something, and this might be woo-woo for you, but maybe it's from a past life even. Okay? In the hypnotherapy world, we believe in past life genealogy, and that might be a little too woo-woo for some people watching this, but okay, mine's very powerful. Think of it this way. We can develop traits, physical traits from our parents. You saying we can't also inherit their emotional problems or their beliefs? Of course we can. Of course we can. So, might not even be the pain. Your own pain might not even be your own. It might be from somebody else. But it gets to a point where it's so bad that the only way out is to end it. Those people need help. 100%. 100%. So
and I'm so glad there's people like you. Thanks to Bethy. Now I know someone like you that if I was ever struggling with that, I could call you and reach out to you. And there's other ways. There's more options for people out there, not just the options that everybody thinks about all the time. Like this is what you do is so special and unique and it's just another option to help people, I love that. I love that so much. And it helps me. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, I'm not a big fan of traditional therapy, and nothing against those who do it. I'm just not a personal fan. Even Freud says, Freud, like the famous, psychologist, he says therapy is for the rich. That's what a direct quote he said. And that's implying that people need to go for years and spend a lot of money and maybe fix their problem. I'm not about that. Why hypnosis is so powerful is because, like you said, it can be one session. I mean, it really can. And then you're done. I mean, I almost think, you guys know that dating app Hinge? Have you heard of Hinge before? That it's the app that's meant to be deleted?
No.
That's their slogan. It's the dating app that's meant to be deleted, right? I think of therapy as the therapy that's meant to be deleted. Like, come to me and then we're good. I don't need to see you for a year.
That's cool.
That's how I thought of it. Like, let's get it done. Let's get it. Like, if you want to change, let's change. Change starts right now.
And I love how you jump on it too. Like, when somebody is ready and they approach you, you're like, all right, let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it in 2 days. Like,
why are we waiting?
Yeah, you're like, not going to give them time to change their mind. Like, you want to quit now? Let's do this.
We are our own worst enemy, and we will talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. But yeah, so I gave you the
well, okay. Well, we're running out of time. The form? Yes.
Yep. I think we lagged there. Just the form, or
yes,
hit me up
everybody,
on Facebook. set it
Please
up.
reach out to Brandon.
Did we ask? Do we have any time?
Reach out to Bethy or me or Brandon.
Did we answer all the questions? Were there any questions in the
What's
chat that we didn't answer or anything?
I don't see a chat.
I think that Sandy
it's right here.
might be able to. I'm not. I can't see a chat. So.
Well, let me see. David said, "Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. LOL."
You need to be hypnotized to hustle more at work. Yeah, you can be definitely hypnotized for motivation. Yeah, absolutely. That's a big one, actually.
Oh, is Brandon single? That's probably not related.
Yeah. And let me just say this. I don't put an expectation on the conversations that I have with people. So if you want to reach out and even have a quick conversation with me over a phone call, I don't charge people for a phone call. Call me and you might get the most, dare I say, the most clarity you've had in years after talking with me. So I'm going to put that out there. I don't, if 100 people start calling me, then, maybe I'll have to take that back. But let me say that if you really have some questions or you have stuff going on that you're curious about, like, hit me up, let's have a conversation. And if what I do or who I work with, can help, then we'll discuss that then. But just to get that clarity, like, hit me up, that's probably priceless for a lot of people. So.
Awesome. That's awesome, Brandon. All right. Sandy, are we wrapping this up?
Yeah. And and I was just going to say, you could always bug me or Bethy and we'll bug Brandon if he gets too busy, because you travel and stuff for work, right? So we could always remind you and be like, hey, so-and-so reached out and they want help. They want your help. They want to quit.
Yes. That sounds great.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And thank you, Bethy, so much for being here. Thank you, Brandon. We got to have you back. I want to have you back we'll talk about music for the whole hour. But today, I hope we can reach some people and help people, like, just know that there's other options out there. So thank you so much. And
and maybe
and for watching. And
throw it out there that if you ever want another show, we could even have like a healing show where we do almost like a group. I can guide everybody in a bit of a group relaxation so people can get that experience of, this is what it feels like to be hypnotized, or, whatever. I'm just throwing it out there. If you guys, want me back even for more of this stuff, I freaking love this.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I love it.
I mean, I'm speaking for
and there's
Sandy,
a lot of other shows.
Yes, she would love that.
I would love it. Like, you know me. No, that would be awesome. And there's other shows that probably want to have you on too. So yeah, look, we'll figure something out.
It's just the beginning.
We'll figure something out.
Thanks for having me, Sandy.
Thank you for coming. I'm so excited. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Okay, we'll see you next week. Next week we got the Cosmos character night next week. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, bye everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.